here, day after the day after. How's Frank feeling after playing nearly 21
Great.
minutes?
Yeah. No, he feels great. He came in and got treatment the last 2 days, and like I said, the one thing he's persistent. Like it's important to him. He really takes care of his body, and I mean he lives in that training room.
I know a lot of guys, when they have injuries, they're a little tentative,
Yeah.
a little nervous. I didn't see any of that with him at all. Did he have any that you saw, or the day after?
I didn't see it from the first day he started coming back and practicing with us. Like it's like he's fresh and renewed. Like he plays like he always does. He knows one speed, which is what makes him a special player. And I mean, I thought he looked terrific out there. I think I mentioned even previously, like even when like his first day back practicing, like he didn't look like he was out of rhythm. Even like shooting the basketball and things like that. Offensively sometimes it takes a little bit, but he's looked terrific ever since he's come back.
After looking at the game film from UCLA, anything stick out?
Yeah, not good. I mean, we had 2 scoring droughts. We had from the 9:30 mark to the 2:30 mark in the first half where we scored 2 points. And then the second half from the 15:30 mark to the 9:30 mark, 3 points. And I mean, basically you're looking at 13 minutes of game time, where you basically score 5 total points, against a team like you're not going to beat anybody. And a lot of it was, there had been some games, previous, like where I thought we still got good shots, we just didn't make them. There was a couple here and there, and I will say, UCLA played good team, but we made some bad plays. Our guards didn't play very well. Like we missed a lot of open guys, where we could have had easy shots, whether it was post guys rolling or guards, or just like some of the turnovers that we had on fast breaks. Like I don't know how to describe them. It was just I don't know if it was guys just trying to do too much or just a little too anxious trying to hit a home run, but we literally just threw the ball right to their players. Like, and so I don't know how to. We'll show them the film, but we have to make better plays.
I don't know if this is a good analogy or not, but sometimes in baseball, when an okay hitter hits a couple home runs, all of a sudden his swing changes and he starts swinging for the fences and doesn't work out too well. Great, had a game where he hit 5 of 5 from 3, and he seems pretty okay with launching up jump shots and 3-pointers. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind him shooting one, but like he's got to be smarter. Like I thought, both of them this game, and I didn't think the Oregon ones were good shots either. And not just a good, like, not that he can't make them. Like, obviously he showed he can make them. But you have to feel the flow of the game. You have to know what's going on. Like, if they're on a 5-0 run, we don't need you getting an offensive rebound and shooting a corner 3. Like, it's not a good play. And not just for him, for pretty much all of our players. And that's the stuff that you don't see. You don't see the top teams in the Big Ten doing that stuff. I don't watch game film and see Purdue taking shots like that. I don't see Purdue making passes like we're making. I don't see Michigan or Michigan State doing that. Illinois, and that's just something that we gotta continue to. We have to learn from it somehow, some way. And we have to make sure that we're getting better shots. We have to share the ball. I think. And I don't think our guys are selfish. I think we still have some guys trying to do too much, and it makes them look bad at times.
I think you guys are still averaging about 23s a game. At this point of the year, do you like that number, because of your percentage there, or would you like to cut back to maybe 15 or 12?
I mean, I would, but like at this level, like, and with the teams that we're playing, the way they can shoot, like we have to shoot some. Like, some of our guys, like teams they're leaving wide open, and it's hard to tell them not to shoot it. But like at some point you have to knock them down, and or we have to know, hey, we're still taking that shot, but we got to crash the offensive glass too. I think, like you said, we are right around that 20 to 22 mark usually. And probably say 3 a game, or probably kind of shot clock things where teams, they guard well at this level, and you have to take a late clock one. But I thought, we had, you just gotta, like I was proud of Makai, knocking a couple down. Tyler, he was 0 for 2, but I thought both of them were good shots. Like we moved the ball, and he's shooting a really high percentage this year. We got to somehow, our guys got to find Tyler more. I thought, he had a couple times where we should have got him the ball. And we had guards just turn it over trying to get it to him.
How would you describe Makai's season? He seems to almost epitomize his team, sort of up and down. When he's on, he seems really good for you guys, and yet there'll be times he'll just disappear.
Yeah, you're 100% right. And I wish I knew how to explain it, because he's a talented kid, and he goes through stretches. Like he had the 3-game stretch. Like he was really the only one that played good against USC here, and then he played really well against Eastern Washington and Washington State. And then, like you said, disappeared for 5 games, and then he'll come back and have one. And that's been the hardest thing. And like I said, it's not just Makai, it's all of our guards. This year, like it's hard. It's hard to know who to play because we don't have separation yet. From a consistency standpoint. Tyree will play great. Zoom will play great. Okay, Makai will hit 3 threes, and then for 3 straight games, and then, DJ, inconsistent. So it's like Louis, it's like they all show flashes, and and hopefully this last month, like we, come together, and guys just be consistent, just take care of the ball. The one thing you can't do, you can't hurt us. Like when you get in the game, it's not your turn to be aggressive and get a shot up, or it's not your turn to try and make a play and turn it over. Like if it's a turnover, it's Washington's turnover. If it's a missed 3, it's Washington's missed 3. And sometimes I think like, our guys try to do too much because they want to make something happen, and they want to do it in a good way, but sometimes it negatively affects us because, like I said, we may have had 2 bad shots, and then somebody checks into the game and they come take a bad shot. Or, hey, we've had a couple turnovers now, we got to take care of the basketball, and the first time they touch it, they're trying to hit a home run, and they turn it over. And so, that's probably been the most frustrating thing, kind of you mentioned just consistency, offensively, defensively, player-wise. It's because we've shown when we do play well. For us to even be in games against these teams, like I don't. Yeah, it's crazy to me. For us to have a chance to win some of these games in the last minute, the way we're shooting the basketball and kind of as sloppy as we play sometimes, just turning the ball over, it shows that we're fighting and scrapping, and we are doing some good things to put ourselves in that position, but not very often do you have a 7-minute lull and a 6-minute lull against UCLA and still be a 1-possession game with 15 seconds left.
In terms of the consistency, obviously having Frank back, you've only had him for like 3 games, and like he's in any team, he's going to be a big part of that team. What is the best version of this team with Frank out there?
Yeah, I don't know because I haven't seen it. Even in practice, I think he can really help us defensively. Like he can change some shots. I think, when you go back and look at the Purdue game, the Illinois game, really a lot of these games like where we didn't have a presence at the rim, like even against UCLA, he changed some shots. Even Mara at the end of the game, like I got to hand it to the kid, made 2 big-time post moves. Like Frank couldn't play better post defense. Like he did a great job, and the kid just made a big-time shot. And so, I thought he got some great rebounds. I do think offensively you could see a little bit of rust. Like he had 2 where he rolled it and we had dunks. Like we ran plays. He caught it and could have dunked it, but he traveled or just got a little too antsy. Which will come the more he plays. But he's just his energy and his aggressiveness and his athleticism and length. like it makes us a lot better team.
And then just say a thought or two about the game that you have on Saturday. Obviously, it's days away for you guys. I don't know if you've, kind of got the scout down yet, but just a quick word on them. I mean, it seemed like Garcia, like he had a big game this last one.
He's
I
really
haven't
good.
watched much of him. I'm not gonna lie, but it seems like Garcia is like they're like main guy.
Yeah, he is. I mean, there's times where he's the best big in the league. Like, I think he's that good. He can really shoot it. I mean, I don't know if they list him at 7 foot. He's close. He was actually Tyree's high school teammate back in Minnesota, and I think he went to North Carolina out of high school. I could be wrong on that, but like, he's as hard a guard as there is in our league. Because he can drive it. He's really athletic and fast for how big he is. And when he plays well, like they're really hard to beat. They've been playing good basketball. They're kind of like us. Like, we could very easily have 3 more wins in the past month. Same thing for them. Like the Ohio State game they had, I mean, they fouled a kid 75 feet from the basket. They had the game won. And so they've had some tough breaks too, like, because they could easily have 5 league wins. And so they're good. But Garcia, he's one of the most talented players in the league, and he's kind of the head of the snake.
3 keys for like that game then.
We're gonna have to be able to guard deep into the possession. Like, they're one of the kind of slower paced teams offensively. Like they grind you. Like they move the ball, side, top, side. They reverse it multiple times, and then at the end of the day, like they're either ISO and Garcia, or they have some guards that can really get going. Mitchell and Lukai Patterson. Like when they're making threes, they can beat anybody in this league, and they've showed that. And then they got hustle guys like the Parker Fox, which I think I heard on the telecast. It's like his 8th year of college, but he's athletic. He's just a glue guy, man. Like, and I don't want to say glue guy in a like it's obviously a positive term, but like he makes stuff happen, man, and he makes them a better team just with his effort and his energy, and so no, it's they're playing as good as they have all year, and we're gonna have to guard deep into the possession, and we're gonna have to take care of the basketball, because that's one thing they're one of the top teams in the country of not turning the basketball over, and so that's how they're in games.
And you're just talking about how good Minnesota's been. They've won 3 straight now.
Yeah.
So kind of that, trying to get out of that last 3 spots in the Big Ten is becoming harder and harder as the season's going on. But this stretch now, I don't think you guys play another team at the top of the Big Ten standings until Wisconsin, which is like February 25th. So like, how important is this stretch? What do you guys need to do to try to get into the postseason?
Yeah, it's the most important. It is. It's we have to break through. Like we have to eliminate some of the stuff that we're doing that's costing us, and we still have to have some confidence, and I'm going to show the guys, like, and we showed them last week, like, we're close, we really are, but you can't keep shooting yourself in the foot. You can't take one step forward and then all of a sudden bam, bam, and it's 2 steps back. It's turnovers. It's making just crazy plays, and so hopefully we can break through, and because I still feel like our guys, like they're playing, aggressive and pretty confident. Like our mindset's not, like I don't even know how many we've lost in a row, but like we're not down in the dumps. Like we're not feeling bad for ourselves. Like they're not, and our guys are still coming and competing every day in practice, and you see it on the court. Like we're playing hard. We are, and if we keep doing that, like, eventually it'll break through, but this stretch coming, I mean, it's make or break.
Do you think kind of trying to break through offensively, do you think that's going to happen like down in the post, especially with Frank back, or do you think that's going to come from trying to improve 3-point shooting?
Both. Like eventually we have to make shots. Teams are just going to continue to pack the paint, and even when Frank's in, like, it's even going to become more packed, and so. But the one thing they have to do is they have to have a body on Frank down there, and that way, even if great posts up, sometimes hopefully it'll be harder to double team him, And if they do from the perimeter, there's only 3 guys out there instead of 4, so there's a little more spacing that the defense has to guard if we do it right. But it's, yeah, I don't know. We just have to get a shot on the rim. Like you can't turn it over. And some of our turnovers against UCLA just led right to either a 3 or a fast break layup, for UCLA. And that was the difference in the game.
Coach, you kind of touched on it there a second ago with, your team being close. At this point in the season, are you happy with the strides you guys are taking in like the overall scheme of things, and just frustrated with like the little areas you want to get better at? Is that how you kind of look at this year so far?
Yeah, I mean we're so much better than we were a month ago. Like we're a totally different, even before Frank got back. Like if we'd have played somebody, Purdue and these guys in early December, like we'd have lost by 40. Like that's the truth. And for us to have chances to beat Illinois and to beat Purdue and to beat UCLA, like, we're getting there. But at the end of the day, and like I've mentioned, like you can't beat yourself. Like you can't have more than 10 turnovers, and you can't have the pick sixes, what we call them, like the turnovers for layups or the, trying to hit home runs. We're not, just make the easy play, hit the singles, and until we do that consistently for 40 minutes, like it's going to be hard to break through, especially with winning on the road. But there's going to be a game, and hopefully multiple where we get back to making 9, 10, 11 threes and taking care of the basketball. And when we do, we'll be hard to beat.
Any update with Dom?
No, not yet. Yeah, he's still, and still kind of, getting integrated into, learning the offense and the defense. He's probably had like 2 real practices, like where we're, practicing for an hour and 45 minutes. Other than that, it's kind of like the day before the game, where we're just kind of review or, some more 5-on-0. And so, yeah, but nothing.
Are you thinking then that he'll play this year, or is it still up in the air?
It's still up in the air. It's still up in the air. And like I said, I'm gonna make it his decision, him and his family and his agent's decision if that's what he wants to do. But again, like he's got to earn the time. Like he can say he wants to play, but if you're not earning the time or beating somebody out, I'm not gonna play you, because that's not fair to our other guys.
Earlier in the year, you mentioned with Jace Butler, you needed to find a way to get him more minutes.
Yeah.
I think he had a concussion.
Yeah.
And we
he
haven't
did.
seen him since. So is it more that or just you trying to find time for him?
Still finding time. It's hard. Like it. It's hard. He is a freshman. I think I can't remember what game. We put him in one of those games. And again, like he just, he's got to continue to get better too. And he's just, we got a lot of older guards that have played, and even when they're not playing good, you still got to beat those guys out, daily. And it's not to say that he hasn't, like I said, a lot of times none of these guys deserve minutes. Like some of the minutes they're getting, it's because we're trying to find a rotation or a spark, and like you said, with the consistency that we haven't had, it's hard. And it's hard to find a rotation right now of, guys where it's like we know what to expect game after game after game. Other than great, really nobody's been consistent.
The time off, is this a good thing, something that's needed just to rest, or needed because you need to practice more, or you just want to get back out there?
Probably both. Like they needed a couple days off. They came in and just kind of got some skill and some shooting yesterday. Nothing. We didn't practice or do film. And Saturday was off. But like it was a hard month. It was. Not just from the teams we were playing, but school starting back up, some travel, and it is at this point of the season too. It's a lot about psyche, and I like where our guys are at. As crazy as it sounds, like they haven't quit like a lot of teams, do sometimes at this point in the season. or start getting selfish and playing for stats and things like that. I haven't sensed that at all. And they know we won't tolerate it. Like if I sense somebody is, they just won't play. But I like where our group is, from a connected standpoint.
I know you talked about inconsistencies a little bit earlier, especially with DJ Davis. Obviously, he had great games against Washington State, Illinois, Maryland, but in games when you've struggled, he's also struggled a lot. What do you think you kind of have to do to get him making shots like he has his whole career?
Yeah, he's just, it's his last month of playing. Just go let it rip, man. Like, you can't get into your own head. Like, no matter what's happened, it's in the past. Be aggressive. Everybody knows, everybody's seen what he can do when he's at his best. And, he's just got to go out there and be confident and next shot, next play mentality all the time. And, kind of like a corner in football. Like, yeah, you're going to get beat for a touchdown here or there, but, you still got to guard. Get out there. Compete. And, and I'm excited to see what he does the next, 5-6 weeks, because, he could. It's just, and again, it's like everything. It's how you finish, and I'm expecting him to finish well, like all these guys.
Coach, this is a new team, new roster, new city, new off-the-court staff. Can you talk a little bit about your coaching staff? Because this is new to you, too. Mm-hmm. Can you maybe talk a little bit about the coaching staff and how you guys are working things out and figuring stuff out and working together?
Yeah. No, it's been great. We got good people, all the coaches, they work their butts off. They're grinders. They're very competent coaches. I trust all of them, whether it's scouting report detail, whether it's individual workouts, whether it's recruiting. They operate at a professional level and they're connected. There's no agendas on our staff. It's not my guy, your guy. We don't do that. And so I'm happy with where our staff is. And like I said, I think we've had some. I think they're doing a really good job, coaching these guys. I think some of our scouting reports I think have been terrific. The way our game plans, to keep us to even get us close to beating some of these teams. And obviously the guys go do it on the court and they got to adhere to the game plan. But they've, I think our staff's done a really good job, and they love Seattle. I mean, it's a great place. It's hard not to like, even though we haven't had a chance to enjoy it, just because we've been so busy since day one. But it's been a blast. And it's like the crowd the other night. It's awesome. And I hope they keep coming back, and I hope they appreciate just kind of how hard the guys are playing. I know we haven't rewarded the team or the fans with wins yet, but it's coming.
Thanks, Coach.